Record to the cloud. Excellent. Okay, we are recording. We're officially recording. So anyone who wants to watch this from now until eternity can just get the link and watch it. So hopefully it makes sense. So I am really excited to be here tonight. My name is Denise, and I'll be co-hosting this call with the lovely ladies here. Who are also going to share their story. But when I was thinking about having this call, I was like, okay, I'm really nervous that nobody's going to want to share their story. I thought to myself, I don't know, maybe menopause or hormones is like too narrow a topic. I had all these stories made up in my head, or maybe people wouldn't relate to it. But when I started talking to people, what I found was that there are a lot of people who are really struggling with imbalanced hormones. So maybe you're interested in this call because you are going through the change of life, the change as my grandma used to call it. Or maybe you've already gone through it, or maybe you were forced through it surgically, or maybe you're kind of backing into it like a lot of people do, that slow back into menopause called perimenopause. Or maybe you've got PCOS or something else going on. So we're hoping to really have a good discussion here and just share our stories with you. So I'm really glad you're here. If you're joining, if you can just mute, if you're not going to be speaking, if you could just mute yourselves, that would be great. So over the last several years, I've been very passionate about preventative health. So before we go any further on this call, I just want to make that old disclaimer. Plexus doesn't intend to diagnose, treat, or cure any disease. We know that. But what we do know about Plexus is that many of us have seen our quality of our life skyrocket because of these products and this company. And we want to just shout it from the rooftops and share it with as many people as possible. So, as I said, my name is Denise Wills. I am from Woodbury, Minnesota. I am a Ruby brand ambassador with Plexus Worldwide. And I'm so proud and grateful to be a part of Jessica Radke's team and Emily Fennell's team. It's just been such a blessing to work with these ladies, not only on my health, but in this business. So, excuse me. So, there are a lot of people that have gone through menopause already, like I said, or backing into it. And there's a lot of people who don't really know where they fit in. Maybe, excuse me, you struggle with PCOS, irregular periods. Sometimes the symptoms that come with this are often normalized as, oh, that's just aging, or it's inevitable. You're going to go through that. Everybody goes through it. Excuse me, I'm going to take a drink of water. And what I've kind of learned is that our culture values youth. It values fertility. It values the sexy 20-something. And while the rest of us kind of get swept under the rug, so I'm going to ask you to mute yourself, please. There's an iPhone 780 that is not muted, and there's lots of background noise. So if you can please mute yourself. Let's see. I'm going to mute them for. Okay, that was really hard to mute her for some reason. Okay, that was distracting. All right, here we go again. So where was I? Yes, our culture values youth, fertility, and it kind of sweeps the rest of us under the rug. So whether you're my age in the mid-50s, younger or older, it's embarrassing. Some of these symptoms are embarrassing. It's embarrassing when we don't ovulate, or when we have heavy, unpredictable periods, or when we have so many mood swings or hot flashes. And some of those really other embarrassing symptoms that kind of come with our sexual health as well. So sorry, not sorry, but this stage of life can be really, really frustrating. And so by hosting this call, my hope is to shed some light on this topic. It doesn't get discussed near enough, in my opinion. So there is a definite connection I've found between menopause, hormonal imbalance, and gut health. When I did a Google check, I was just curious about gut health and menopause, and it showed me hundreds of articles. So we know that people are looking for this. We know that most of those articles talked about how important blood sugar balance was, taking a good probiotic, getting proper nutrition and good sleep is a cornerstone for our health. And yeah, so I just want to share a little bit about my background in my health recovery testimony, just a little slice of it. And then I want to introduce you to some of my friends here who are also going to share their story. So we want to share about how we've been given hope and healing, and we've been able to bless others as well by introducing them to Plexus. So as I've shared, I'm with Plexus I've been with Plexus for 4 years now. It's hard to believe. I just had my Plexiversary the end of June. So I've also been a nurse for 30 years. Most of my years in nursing, I specialized in intensive care nursing. We're working with adults, and then I moved on to holistic nursing, health coaching, and teaching all things holistic. So as you can see, this kind of Plexus lifestyle really was a good fit for me. And just before COVID, I got laid off. And so this became an even bigger blessing in my life to be able to help people and still take care of people. It just happens in a different way now. So I'm really, really excited about that. I started on the products after I was searching and searching and searching endlessly for a way to heal my autoimmune issues. I had ulcerative colitis and leaky gut, and I really didn't think these products were going to work for me when my friend introduced me, but I was so exhausted. I had a very low mood, and as my naturopath told me, I had crispy adrenal glands. So I was in pretty rough shape. I would have a racing heart. I wouldn't be able to digest any foods without having to race to the bathroom. So where does the hormone and menopause story come in for me? I bet you're curious about that. That was kind of one of these looking back stories that I was thinking about when I was thinking about hosting this. So I've had gut issues since I was 17. I used chronic antibiotics for ear infections and yeast infections. I was on birth control for over 10 years. And then came the infertility diagnosis, and then the diagnosis of premature ovarian failure, idiopathic in nature. And what that means is there's no known cause. So as you can see, along with my gut issues, I had all kinds of hormonal imbalances and hormone issues. So I just think about how grateful I am that I was working out with my friend Carrie, and she kept talking about how she was weeding, seeding, feeding, and protecting her gut, and it was helping all kinds of things for her and her family. And she just turned to me one day and she said, I think this could really change your life. And I gave her the big eye roll. And I said, Carrie, come on now. I've been sick for a long time. And I've been to the naturopath, and there just aren't very many things that really help me to feel my best. And she said, no, I think you should trust me. And so I did. I tried the products. I committed to 6 months, and I told her that if I got results, I would share. But otherwise, I wanted my money back. So I started on Triplex, and I added in the X Factor Plus the following month, and then I added in Ease at about month 5. Long story short, Plexus does heal me. It didn't heal me, it heals me each and every day. And I want to really stress that, because what I realize is that blood sugar balance, the radical improvements in my digestion, the inflammation that's been cleared up, my mood that's been improved. Thank you, Jesus. No more hot flashes or feeling like my heart's going to beat out of my chest. I'm continuing to learn about our microbiome and how there's even a specialized part of our microbiome called the estrobolome. I don't know if you guys have heard that term, but it's a specialized part that helps rid our body of excess toxins and estrogen. So how beautifully are we designed that we have specialized parts, even in our microbiome, that help take care of us this way? I am learning and relearning and practicing the proper nutrition, whole foods, eating by the 80-20 rule. I'm learning about foods that trigger my autoimmune response. I'm healing my relationship with food and how the 3-day reset is actually quite perfect for me. So I had some detoxing issues that I had to face, and this really kicked my metabolism back into gear after having been on products for a long time. So it's not just for new people. The people who've been using the products for a while can take this again and really get great results. So I shared I shared the products and the opportunity with my friends and my family because I was just so darn excited. I was so excited. I was filled with joy that I actually felt better and that my body was functioning better. I got me back, my family got me back, and I wanted other people to feel good too. I now have a beautiful team of like-minded individuals who desire true health, and they want to bring their friends and family along too. So now I want to have my friends share about their journey and how Plexus has helped them. Okay, friends, so Jenny's going first. All right, take it away, Jenny.
Thank you, beautiful. You guys, I had the pleasure of meeting Denise about a year ago, and we really connected at convention when we stayed here in Kansas City, and it was awesome. So she reached out to me about my story, so I'm going to let you know. My story really began about 10 years ago when my son was born. Just so you know, I am 43. I had him when I was 34. And when I had him, I bled out and I would not stop bleeding. I lost over half my blood. And they were going to do a blood transfusion, but didn't. And I was okay. I was like, feel good. Like I'm all right. Took a little while to recover. And then I got my IUD put in not too long after that, because I was like, no more babies. Don't need any. I'm good to go. So then about a year later, my husband had a vasectomy, and come to find out he probably didn't need that. But anyway, so then a couple years later, I got my IUD taken out and I never had a period after that. And I started having hot flashes and I started having night sweats. And at this point in time, I had become a fitness instructor and I was teaching about 7 hours a week. And so my husband and I were like, that's probably it. Like you're just overworking your body. I taught a lot of evening classes after teaching kindergarten all day. I was tired and, just kind of run down. And that's how my body was responding. And I mean, it was hot flashes like, holy cow, like I'm dying, just stripped naked in the living room. And so after a while, he was just like, I don't know, maybe something's going on. And I was like, whatever, I'm tired. I wake up in the middle of the night. My knees hurt. I'm just aging, whatever. So my neighbor that I've been best friends with since I was little, she actually started the Plexus journey about 5 or 6 years ago. And oh my God, she drove me nuts about it. All I kept hearing was, oh, this about Plexus and this. And I was like you, I was like, rolling my eyes like, oh, geez, just stop talking about it. And then finally one day, about maybe a few months into the pandemic, I said, okay, fine, just sign me up. Go ahead, just sign me up. So I went ahead and tried it. And I actually started on Triplex. And I don't think I was in a very good head place at the time. I was not consistent. I was not drinking my water. And the biggest thing is I was not communicating with her. So I quit. I quit the products after a couple months. And I was like, that's it. I'm done. Thanks. No, thanks. Sure enough, I just started feeling worse. And I was like, not really paying attention to things that had been happening. And I started noticing I was waking up feeling really bloated and waking up in the middle of the night and just certain things where I was like, what if she's right? Like, what if something was happening and I wasn't paying attention to it? Or what if things were happening so that they weren't getting worse, because now I was feeling worse. And so I called her up at 5:30 in the morning and I said, okay, I need to go again, but I'm a super pooper, so I'm going to go a different route. When you have the triplex, there's BioCleanse, and I didn't feel like necessarily that was a right one for me. So I actually started with Slim and MetaBurn, and then I went on the protein. And I will say that within 2 weeks of starting on the Slim, my hot flashes greatly diminished and my night sweats completely went away. So that was a real big thing for me when I wasn't waking up in a pool of sweat every single night. And my husband was like, so that was a really big thing for me. And I thought, okay, she must be onto something. The hot flashes still came here and there, but not near as much. So anyway, about 6 months into this journey, I started adding in products like collagen and ProBio 5, and I added things in. And then I went for blood work. And sure enough, post-menopause. And even when you're post-menopause, you can still get hot flashes and night sweats and all of those things, which is also something a lot of people don't talk about, that just because you are post-menopause doesn't mean you're not dealing with some of the symptoms. And so I was about 41 and a half, I think, when they said, yeah, you're done. And in my head, I thought, how lucky for my husband. Like, that was easy. I was in a good mood. But anyway, so, one of the things that we've definitely noticed is low libido for me since then. And I don't know if the reset, there's anything saying about the resetting that part, but it's been pretty good since I did that reset. Anyway, friends, so really that's my story. It just really impressed me how, the night flashes and the hot sweats, or reverse that, hot flashes, night sweats, how all those things really got better, and my achy knees got better, and my sleep has improved. And so for me, I notice if I don't take my pink drink a couple of days in a row, it starts coming back, and I feel like I notice those things more. So we're a big Plexus family, and it's brought us just a lot of opportunities, and it's been great for everybody in my family. And so, yeah, that's my story, and it's been lovely. So thank you, Denise, for having me.
Oh my gosh, thank you for sharing your story. I hadn't heard the full story before. And what it reminded me of was like when I learned about blood sugar balance, and how it's tied to all of your other hormones. They call it the master hormone. That's what's so crazy. And, I was thinking back today of how I used to be so terribly imbalanced with my blood sugar that I would get those hot flashes. And so it's crazy how it's all tied together, but just feeling so much relief from that. I'm curious, are you on the X Factor Plus as well? Did you say?
I am not yet. Actually, I have about like 4 or 5 bottles of it because I keep ordering it and I just haven't gotten there yet. But I know that has been a huge one for so many women going through menopause. And for me, I noticed it with the Slim. And so I've got it because I'm going to add it on anyway, but I just haven't started yet. But yeah, I mean, I think it's just crazy because I never thought I was going to go through menopause so early. And of course, now looking back, I'm like, maybe he didn't need a vasectomy. Oops. But yeah, so I mean, Slim was my big one. I feel like that did a lot. And then definitely adding in the ProBio 5, I think has been a really big help for me too. And I do take Ease now at night as well. So, yep.
Well, thank you so much for sharing. We're so glad you're here.
Thank you.
Carrie is next.
All right. Hey, Jenny, we're the same age. I didn't know that. So I am 43 as well. So my story in a nutshell, 6 years ago, all of 2016, I spent that whole year doing chemo for breast cancer. I had chemo. Today, actually, 6 years ago today, I had a double mastectomy down at Mayo Clinic. Just kind of a weird anniversary to have, but just thinking how far I've come. So chemo, double mastectomy, reconstruction, 25 rounds of radiation, and my breast cancer was estrogen positive. So what that meant is estrogen in my body was feeding breast cancer. My breast cancer thrived on estrogen. I am also guilty of spending half my life on birth control. So again, hindsight, just thinking back to that. So what that meant is when I did chemo, my ovaries shut down. But what also had to be done for the long run and for cancer prevention is I had to be thrown into medically induced menopause at age 37. So it was not some lovely little transition. It was like, boom, medication, you're in menopause today. And it was not fun. So fast forward to summer of 2017, I was about 6 months out from breast cancer that whole year of fighting. Basically my body was a hot mess because I had just gone to war. And with that, being thrown into menopause, what I was doing at the time was I was getting a shot in my stomach to keep my ovaries asleep. And I was doing that every single month. And then I was also taking a pill that I still do to keep other estrogen sources shut down in your body because your adrenals and fat in your body can produce estrogen. So I have that all shut down. So when I found Plexus in June of 2017, 5 years ago, my sister-in-law twisted my arm and forced me to order Triplex. So I did. I was like, I've tried everything else. And honestly, I just tried it because she made me and I was sick of her talking about it. So sound familiar? So anyways, I got Triplex and I at that time, I was huge, like sugar cravings. I was so puffy and swollen from all that medication in me. Like I just had a lot built up in me from stress and chemo and all that surgeries. So I started taking Triplex. And like a month or two after that, I heard that X Factor Plus helped with hot flashes. And it's because of the grapeseed extract in it. And I was like, oh my gosh, I need that. Because where I was at, I was having the hot flashes and they were awful. They were like burning, tingling, just water pouring down my face, down my back. Like I would just be sitting here and I would break out into sweat and it was not pleasant. Also my medication too, keeping me in menopause, I walked around like Frankenstein. My feet were stiff, my body was stiff. I'd wake up in the morning and my hands were clenched from this medication. So it was just, it was a storm in my body. So anyways, Triplex, I hopped on X Factor Plus and the rest is history. I can tell you that I am just about 5 years without hot flashes. Sometimes I'll get a random like warm flush in my body, but I have not had a hot flash since I started X Factor Plus. And yeah, I agree with Slim, the pink drink, how it helps balance your hormones. I know that comes into play as well. Something else that was super important adding into my regimen was Vital Biome because, going through a life-threatening situation with your health, like your mood, stability of your mind, all that was not in a good spot. So I am forever thankful for Vital Biome helping with my mood and just taking away a lot of that anxiousness. So fast forward through that, I ended up getting my ovaries out. So my ovaries are completely gone. So even though they're not medically shut down, I am still feeling so good. I have no more aches and pains from my body. I still take a suppressant for keeping the other estrogen sources down or shut down. But right now, like I am the healthiest I've ever been in my whole life. So I am 43 and my blood work says that. So much credit there for all those products. But something else I struggled with too is like when I was thrown into menopause and all that, like weight was an issue for me. And I was like at my heaviest weight, like my 9-month pregnancy weight. And it was really hard on me. And I reduced so much puffiness and just, I had to get my ring cut off, my wedding ring cut off before my double mastectomy. Like that's kind of insulting. But anyways, I reduced so much of this puffiness in my body. But a couple years ago, I also added in intermittent fasting. And I know with like these life changes going through menopause, like weight is an issue. So I introduced intermittent fasting into my life. And that was a game changer for me as well. Like my body needed that. So intermittent fasting and Plexus for me was just literally a game changer with dropping weight and just overall bringing cholesterol down, all that stuff. So that's my story in a nutshell. And also, like, when I have a good thing in my hands, I can't keep it a secret. And I have blessed over 300 people with Plexus and all the blessings that come from it, with getting their health back, with getting a paycheck, just all the good things and all the friendships here. So I am forever thankful for all of that. So that's all I have.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much for sharing. I've heard your story over and over again, and every time I take away a different piece from it. And what a time that must have been. And I remember when I met you, you had just gone through some surgery for maybe some reconstruction or something. You had a pretty serious infection, a life-threatening infection. And I
I had
just thought,
sepsis.
oh,
I
this
had
girl has been
sepsis.
through so much.
Yeah. 2019, I had another reconstruction. I've had about 4 reconstruction surgeries, but yes, I picked up a hospital super bug. And yeah, that's scary too. So I'm still here to talk about it.
You
Cancer,
are
sepsis, COVID, nothing's taken me out.
You're still here. Yes. I'm so grateful because you're blessing so many people and you're giving so many people hope through your story. And one thing that struck me when you were talking about plexus and intermittent fasting was, all of this fasting helps us clean up dead and unwanted cells, and it does not promote bad cell growth. So we want to always think about that. And that's what I love about intermittent fasting. I think I jumped on the intermittent fasting train probably about a year and a half ago now. I think it was November 2 years ago. Yeah. So, and I absolutely love it. I cycle through it. I don't always do it. But the one thing that really appealed to me with the reset was it helps mimic that autophagy, or that cleaning up of those dead, unwanted, unused cells. And it just really helps all the renewal of our cells. So
Yeah.
thanks for mentioning that too.
And since I did reset about a week and a half ago, and I have noticed with doing reset, I am able to fast longer. So I am hardcore. I will do at least 16 hours. But since I've done reset, I've been easily going 17 to 18 hours. And IF, my oncologist, is super excited that I do that as well, because there are so many benefits in the cancer world. So yeah, adding reset in there, that was awesome to push that longer. So I'll take all the cleanup I can get.
Right. Right. All of us. Oh my goodness. Okay, Ramona, you are we saved the best for last. So
Oh
here
boy.
we go.
Oh
hear your
boy, oh
story.
boy. I would not say that. I'm going to start with, I am the granny of the group here. So I have 3 grown children, 10 grandkiddos, and so I need all the help I can get just to have the energy, all of the things to keep up with them. So I started my journey in 2016, which it could not have come at a better time. I was menopausal and I had no energy, no motivation, anxiety through the roof, and I had just lost my best friend to cancer. So when this was all happening and then Plexus was brought into my life, I thought, wow, this is God's timing, what have you. But I still was that skeptical person. But I started on triplex and honestly started feeling so much better pretty quickly for being full on menopause. Mood swings, all of the things were better, balancing the blood sugar. And I did add our X Factor Plus, which hot flashes, gone. I mean, it would maybe be like one or two, but not every night, where I was just, completely miserable. So my husband started noticing better things in myself, happier, just all of the things with aging, your self-confidence, all of those things are kind of lacking. Your skin changes, start getting wrinkles, like just the circle of life. Anyway, so he started, and he actually had results with his cholesterol and triglycerides. So I am just so happy that he is on the journey with me, because we have been married for almost 43 years. And, we just want to keep each other going as long as we can. Other than that, I'm trying to think here. I wrote a few notes on my way home. Notice I'm still sitting in my car. So, back then, hormones, the poor skin, mood swings, hot flashes, sweating, racing heart, lower sex drive. Yes, I said that. All of the things. So the supplements have just made such a huge impact in my life and in, my husband's life, just being healthier as much as we can be, I guess I should say, because there are things that aren't controllable. So and the other thing that has been my big takeaway from all of this is, I said anxiety. Well, I was on anxiety medication for 30 years, and I no longer take that. So I did add in the VitaBiome, which Carrie was talking about. I call it my little chill pill. It makes such a difference in kind of the worry factors, how you handle things, and then it goes to helping with bloating. So it's kind of like across the board. So it has just been a blessing for us, not only in our health, but just allowing us to do different things monetarily that maybe didn't fit into the budget. Like I said, I've been doing this since 2016, and I am a Ruby ambassador. So I feel truly blessed. I did do the as well. I was very nervous about it. I was like, oh my gosh, I love chewing my food. How's this even gonna go? Day one was like, oh, day two was like, I can do this. I had 5 people doing it with me. And by day 3, I was like, I'm going to do it again. They did such a great job on this that I wasn't hungry, and I did lose 6 pounds. But the other people that did it with me too had great results as well. So it was good timing. Like I said, I will do it again. So the other thing is just the friendships that I've gotten along the way. I haven't even in person ever, and I could pick up the phone, I could message them with absolutely no problems. So that is kind of my story. It's kind of boring compared to everybody else's, but it's just a life story, really. But I want to thank you ladies for inviting me on, and for everyone else that is listening in too. So thank you.
Thank you. Oh my gosh, I am so grateful. So we have some diversity here as far as our stories go, but I want to be a sexy grandma like you. So
well,
we have goals.
You.
We have sexy grandma goals. We're going to do it someday.
I will be 60. I will be 64.
Oh my goodness, you're 10 years older than me. Yeah, I got some sexy grandma goals. Oh my word. Well, thank you so much, everybody, for hopping on. And I'm going to end the recording now. If you want to stay on and ask questions, you're more than welcome to do it. So just give me a second here. I'm going to stop the recording.